I'm Zev Kershman, SVP of Customer and Business Enablement at DashQ. DashQ is a tenant management software that's injecting AI across the entire renter lifecycle to help reduce OpEx for scaling multifamily landlords. It means enabling a connected intelligence layer across the entire resident lifecycle, so each team has a co-pilot that's always on and always available. It starts at the top of funnel, where leads are coming in 24/7, typically 50% coming after hours, and leasing teams are underwater. They can't handle the volume, and they can't handle the response times. That's why you would inject a virtual leasing agent across calls, emails, and texts to provide contextually based and timely responses that reference community-based knowledge, rep calendars for availability, so you can book renters when they're ready. Down the funnel, AI scores leads based on behavior and sentiment to match them to the right unit, nudging leasing teams to contact the right people at the right time, and follows a follow-up rhythm. Reminders, notifications, post-tour nudges that consistently turn intent into applications. In approvals, AI reviews applications end-to-end, provides approval recommendations, triages edge cases to the right people with context, and helps reduce rental fraud, all of which reduce approval timelines from days to minutes. After the lease is where AI really starts to shine. Whether it's proactive renewals, removing routine resident requests off of the front line and delighting residents, or having early stage, proactive and tone-based collection conversations. That's where AI is making a big difference. From an ownership perspective, there's three main levers: people, vacancy, and turnover. From a people perspective, AI takes that monotonous work out of teams that typically require scale. Call centers for lead handling, approvals teams for applications, and service teams for maintenance requests. When that monotonous work is removed, teams can actually work on high-value activities that matter. The main lever where landlords will see big financial gains is vacancy reduction. AI accelerates the entire lead-to-lease journey, and a really good virtual leasing agent can take 70% of leads and convert them into tours without human intervention. And that metric alone has a cascading effect across the entire funnel. Top operators typically see 50% plus lead to tour and 18 to 22% tour to lease rates, which meaningfully reduce approval timelines from days to minutes. Final lever is turnover. In lease-ups and new construction, operators typically see 30 to 40% turnover. AI solves for this by building proactive renewal programs that identify at-risk residents early and build customized communication and promotion options based on sentiment and history. In lease-ups and new construction, operators typically see 30 to 40% turnover. AI solves for this by building proactive renewal programs that identify at-risk residents early and build personalized communication and promotion options based on their sentiment and history. When you reduce turnover to around 25%, the NOI gains are so meaningful, it dwarfs most other operational initiatives. Brand standards aren't defined by what's in a document. They're defined by how residents experience your team at every interaction across the entire journey. Operators typically depend on consistency, but as they scale, that consistency, regardless of coaching and training, starts to drift. So think at the top of the funnel. Renters start the search, Google a neighborhood, browse different ILSs, see multiple communities, and inquire en masse. What their main concern at that point is who's going to respond to me the quickest, the most accurately, and who's built enough trust with me that I can believe that they're going to help me find my new home. And that's what AI does, based on community-based knowledge bases, based on pricing, policies, and inventory. It can deliver that accurate and timely responses. Operators can manage their brand voice on a community basis, whether that's a high-rise luxury building in King West or a boutique low-rise in North Van. The brand identity is evident throughout the communication while maintaining the corporate standard. From a leadership perspective, it creates a level of reliability, that certainty that every resident gets the correct experience, not the one that they end up with. And from an ownership perspective, that creates a peace of mind, knowing that your brand standards are being upheld consistently every day. Adopting AI is a strategic process. It requires a thoughtful plan to double down on what's working and streamline what's not. The first step isn't about turning AI on, it's about manicuring your data. There's this misconception that AI is just plug and play, and that couldn't be further from the truth. The quality of the data determines the quality of the output. So before you turn anything on, you have to build a robust data set, manicure your community knowledge bases, clean up your rep calendars, and ensure that your ERP is set up with the correct made-ready dates and pricing. That's data readiness, and in the world of AI, that's what separates good from great. The next step is intentional piloting. You now have your data, you know what problem you're trying to solve, and you know how you're going to measure it. Now it's about intentionality. A lease up that needs momentum, a stabilized building that has historically higher vacancy, or a tech-forward team that's excited to embrace technology. The goal is to build early wins, gain momentum, and start to see the value of what AI can do. The next step is about rethinking how you operate. AI isn't just an upgrade, it's a chance to fundamentally rethink your operating engine from a product, process, and people perspective. Archaic workflows built on top of legacy systems can be simplified or removed. And the dogma of, this is the way we've always done it, can finally be questioned. You'll start to see teams move from being busy to delivering on outcomes. And those outcomes will help be accelerated through visibility. Leaders need data to quantify what's working, what's not, and where to go next. But in today's ecosystem, that data is fragmented and siloed across multiple platforms. As this unfolds, visibility becomes your accelerator. Leaders need data to quantify what's working, what's not, and where to go next. But in today's ecosystem, that data is fragmented and siloed across multiple platforms. AI gives you that robust and granular data set to quantify performance and know where to go next. And once you see the data start to perform, that's when you're ready to roll out across the portfolio. And that's what separates AI from being a project into an operating engine that can transform performance across your portfolio.